So here we go. So from bad to worse, since the April 20th explosion on the Deepwater Horizon, well, the oil rig there, oil has been really pouring out from that line underwater. Now a new independent estimate says that as many as 70,000 barrels a day are leaking. That's nearly 3 million gallons per day. BP says 5,000 barrels. That's about 210,000 gallons a day. So let's go to that 3 million gallon a day estimate, right? Over a week, that amounts to a spill nearly twice the size of the Exxon Valdez spill. Twice the size of that. BP stands by their earlier estimate, but they say they're not focusing on that measurement. They just want to stop that leak. And so does the president. President Barack Obama spoke just moments ago. Take a listen.
The most important order of business is to stop the leak. I know there have been varying reports over the last few days about how large the leak is, but since no one can get down there in person, we know there's a level of uncertainty.
So that big dome, they call it the top hat, and then there's the junk shot. We keep hearing all of these contraptions, all of these concepts that BP is using to supposedly stop that leak. None of them have worked so far. So here's the million-dollar question. What is really going to stop this thing? We turn now to see is David Mattingly. He joins us from New Orleans. So what is BP doing right now, David, to stop this? We've heard about all these terms. We just want to know the truth. What's being done to stop it?
Well, Don, here's a new term for you. It's called an insertion tube, and that's what BP is going with right now. They're trying to insert a tube inside that leaking all of that oil into the Gulf of Mexico. That's what they decided to go with first. They're going to try to see if that tube will work, if they can seal that pipe off that way, and then siphon all of this leaking oil up to the surface to a containment vessel. If that doesn't work, then we're going to go back to that small containment dome that they created. Top hat. That's on the ocean floor. That's ready to go in case this tube doesn't work. But that's what they're going with right now. And they think if they're going to see some success from it, they will know sometime tonight.
So, David, listen, Thad Allen came out just a short time ago and gave some information, and it appears that some of his information was not updated. Is there some problem with him getting that information? Is there an issue here?
Well, we're trying to get to the bottom of that. The Admiral came out and said that right now that BP was actually going forward with the top hat solution to this problem, which information was about 24 hours old because BP had been telling us for almost 24 hours, even yesterday, that they were going with this tube insertion first. So it raised questions. Is the Admiral getting good information from BP? And if so, did he just get it wrong at the press conference? We're continuing to dig down to see if we can get to the source of that miscommunication. But his PR people with the Coast Guard saying really the only thing he got wrong was just the sequence of events, that all of these things are in place simultaneously. And so they're trying to minimize that gaffe that he put out there.
David Mattingly. David, thank you for keeping us updated on that. We really appreciate it. And that leak is so deep underwater that human hands really can't get to it. And on top of all of that, it is spewing unmeasurable amounts of crude, as we have been telling you. We really don't know just how to stop it, and we don't know, the long-term consequences, effects of having so much oil floating around in the Gulf of Mexico and possibly going to other areas as well. So joining me now is CNN contributor and retired Army General Russell Honore. First, what is the latest that you're hearing about the military getting involved in this leak, General?
Yeah, Don, the military is directly supportive of the United States Coast Guard, which is the all-incident commander. To date, the Department of Defense has approved 1,100, up to 6,000 National Guardsmen for each state. The state of Louisiana right now have 1,100 guardsmen out deployed along the coast, trying to shore up the shoreline and support the effort of getting the booming out. There have been 27 requests to the Department of Defense from the Coast Guard. Most of that, Don, is flying boom in using our heavy airlift aircraft. Much of that boom was flown from California. Now they're flying long-range missions from Alaska. The Department of Defense has also deployed salvage experts from the United States Navy working in support of the United States Coast Guard. And the United States Air Force have deployed a great organization called the Civil Patrol. And they're patrolling those waters, using advanced cameras to provide information back to the government on what they're seeing and how that oil is being dispersed. In addition, the military is deployed at Roberts, Louisiana, Mobile, Alabama, and now at St. Petersburg, joint information headquarters that are designed to support the Coast Guard.
And General, I have to ask you this. I see what the military is doing, but here's my question about the government. Should the government be doing anything differently, or are they doing what they should be doing at this point?
I think it's time for the government to step up. I think we're going to have to take control of this, and we're going to put a command and control system on top of that well, put the right people out there, and they don't come off of that well until it's fixed. That's what I think the government needs to be doing right now.
All right, so government more, and that's what they should be doing. Now, what about the response from the government? You said, you know, they should be getting involved in the fix. Did they get involved, in your estimation? You were down for Katrina soon enough in this situation?
I think the public opinion is out on that because the information wasn't accurate coming from BP. The Coast Guard, when they arrive on the scene, their #1 task is to save lives. And they were depending on information coming from those ROVs, and now we are seeing that information may have not been as accurate as it should be, but I think it's time now for the government to put that Admiral Allen in charge of this and to start directing actions as opposed to waiting for BP to figure out what's next.
All right, General, thank you. Don't go anywhere because we're going to be talking to you a little bit longer. General, we're going to talk to you about the long-term effects of this oil leak next hour. So I want the General to stick around. I want the audience to stick around as well for that. General Russell Honore joining us.